Welcome back everyone to another episode of Mumbles. Today, I'll be bringing you a game review. And the game that we'll be reviewing today is The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Now this game was just recently released on Xbox One. And you can get it on there for $19.99. This game tells the story of Ethan Carter and the detective who is trying to find him, Paul Prospero. Now this detective is no ordinary detective. He is a psychic detective. What does that mean? He can see things that others can't. So, as you go through this journey, you will take the role of Paul Prospero and try to find out what happened to Ethan Carter. Now let's get into the meat and bones of this game. First off, the graphics. This game, quite simply, is gorgeous. I found myself just stopping and looking at the scenery and thinking to myself, wow, what a beautiful game. And I don't say that a lot. I mean, graphics today are all very good for the most part, but some games just stand out, and this is one of those games. Now the soundtrack in this game is incredible. It has very nice fitting music. When you go into someplace that is rather creepy, you'll get some creepy music. When you're just walking through a beautiful scenery, sometimes it'll give you some beautiful music. Everything that it sets up sound-wise is just perfect. It sets everything up simply perfect. Now the controls in this game, there's not much to them. This is basically a narrative-driven game, but there are a couple controls. So you have your movement controls, you have your run, and you have your interaction button. All for the most part will tell you what to do, when to do it, and it all makes for a very enjoyable experience. Now gameplay-wise, as I said, this is a narrative game. Now by this I mean, you don't need to expect Mario-type jumping scenes or any platforming scenes or anything like that. This game is about building up a story. Now there are puzzles in this game. For instance, at one point you will walk through a house and have to basically figure out what order the rooms go in. So maybe one room goes here, one room goes there, one room goes to the next place. But which room goes where? You have to remember it and put them all back together. Now there are a lot of different kinds of puzzles in this game, but as I said, this game is all about the story. And the story it tells is a very gripping, riveting one. This game can be compared to games such as Gone Home, and stories such as that while they do have nice gameplay, they are all about that story. I cannot stress that enough. As you proceed through this game, unlike some games where you have to beat everything in one section in order to move on to the next section, this game throws all that out. You can literally walk from one end of the map to the very end of the map. Unabated, unstopped, without having to do anything or move anything. From start to finish, right at the start of this game. So you can solve the mysteries and the puzzles and all that stuff as you go through the game. This makes it for a very different game. You can kind of explore your environment as you feel, and it gives you a lot of freedom to do as you please. Now, let's talk about the cons. The first con in this game is that it is not a very long game. This game is only about 4 hours, but for $19.99 you are getting a 4-hour amazing experience. It's just got so much story to it and it really drew me into it, so I can't really just complain about the length. The final con to this game is that it doesn't have a lot of replayability. Once you beat the story, what's the point of going back through it right afterwards to beat it again? Maybe you'll go back to it in a couple months and when you've forgotten what happened and you'll want to replay it, but for the most part the replayability is not high in this game. These are the only two cons for this game. And overall, I was very pleased with this game. This game really drew me into it. It made me really think and sit on the edge of my seat and wonder, what is going to happen next? What happened to this poor kid? Are we going to find this poor kid? Is he still alive? What's going on here? Why am I here? What am I doing? All these questions were answered. But just the way that they did it was, quite frankly, amazing. I was very impressed with this game. As a result of all these things that I've talked about today, this game is going to receive an 8 out of 10 on our Mumbles review. It is a very awesome game. If you haven't checked it out, please do. You will not regret it. If you like story-driven games, this is the game for you. Anyways, guys, this has been another episode of Mumbles. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. Please smack that subscribe button, smack the like button, smack all those buttons, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye-bye, everyone. Take care.